What's up guys, my name is Westy and I'm back again today with another Battlefield 4 video, and we're going to be looking at some more multiplayer information. Now last night I sat through about 2.5 to 3 hours of the Battlefield 4 live stream on the official Twitch channel for Battlefield 4. And they basically showcased some live gameplay direct from E3, 32 versus 32 man battles on the PC. And there were some commentators commentating over the top of the game, and of course there were some interviews with DICE employees as well, so there is some information that we can gather from that. So the first one is Spectator Mode. Now this has been completely confirmed. There will be a Spectator Mode in Battlefield 4, confirmed for the PC. Now there's some footage of the Spectator rolling around in the background right now, so I'll quickly go through what it contains. At its basics, the Spectator Mode gives you 4 different perspectives of the battle. You can have tabletop, first, third and free cam mode. Now the tabletop view gives you an overall look of the map that's being played on. You get to look at where all the enemies are and where all the friendlies are. Apart from in that game you won't actually be on a side. This is currently in pre-alpha, so this is just how it is right now. And in the final version you won't be on a side while you're in the Spectator Mode. It will just be neutral. So you'll be able to see where both teams are, what capture points are each other's, and you'll be able to have a look at the commander mode as well. Now first and third person are self-explanatory. With first person you can flick through all 64 players that are on the map. So you can flick your way through, perhaps trying to find some really cool sort of battle moments where you can flick from one team back to the other while they're shooting at each other, just so that you can get an idea of the battle. Third person is slightly different. You're still able to sort of lock on to all 64 players all around the map, but you are able to zoom in and out from the player as well, so that you can gain a better perspective. And there's a 360 degree toggle, so you can move the camera all the way around the player as well. And finally we have free cam mode. Now this is something that a lot of third parties have built for Battlefield 3, and it's quite like that in Battlefield 4, but there's a few tweaks and I think it makes it better. The free cam mode in Battlefield 4 allows you to have 5 different cameras set up around the map for you to use. As you move from one camera to the other, the camera that you just left will sit there and stay there until you return to that camera later on. The idea being that you can set up multiple viewpoints, switch between them as the battle's going on, and perhaps create some really cool videos. But obviously the whole reason of putting a Spectator Mode in Battlefield 4, that means that esports is going to be a heavy focus of Battlefield 4. Something that ties into that is of course the 5-man squads. They built them specifically for 5v5 match play. So it looks like DICE are really putting some effort into Battlefield 4 in terms of esports, and people like LevelBF and Reddit are really going to dig this because it means they finally got proper tools for Spectator Mode. Now as I did mention at the start of this video, Spectator Mode has only been confirmed for PC so far. Last night on the stream, Jinto, or Daniel Matros, who is the producer for Battlefield 4, had a little interview with the guy who was in the stream, and when he was asked about whether we're going to be seeing Spectator Mode on consoles, he said, "We'll see." Now I can understand why they'd want to put Spectator Mode on consoles. If you think about Call of Duty, a lot of the competitive scene was run on Xbox 360, and having the theatre mode in Call of Duty did really help those guys. So perhaps we're going to see that for Battlefield 4, but it's not been confirmed. Okay, so the next thing that we were talking about in that multiplayer stream last night was Levolution, and that's just a fancy name for dynamic environments. And I'm sure a lot of you are aware by now that the map they're playing on is called Seas of Shanghai, and the main focus of it is that skyscraper. And unless you've been living under a rock for the last 48 hours, you'll know exactly what that skyscraper does. It is possible to knock that thing down manually. The way you can do it is there's 4 giant pillars underneath that skyscraper. They both need 2 hits each from heavy artillery or tank shells to take them out. Once all of them have been taken out, the skyscraper will fall down. And this is the idea where Levolution comes in. If you're playing Conquest on this map, the flag disappears while that skyscraper is falling down. And when it's fallen down, the flag reappears on that point. So then you were fighting for a flag that was at the top of a skyscraper, now you're fighting for a flag in the rubble of that skyscraper. And this is what they want for Levolution, the way that the battlefield changes as the game progresses, but it's all at the choice of the players who are playing the game. There's one smaller example of Levolution, perhaps you could classify it as this, but there are certain bridges around this map and there are bollards on those bridges. You can activate them by pushing a button and the bollards come up out of the ground. This stops tanks driving across that bridge. They then have to get out, push the button, wait for the bollards to drop and then drive across. Of course they've got to get out their tank. They could easily be taken out by a sniper on a building somewhere. So this is the way that DICE wants us to play Battlefield 4. We get to make the decision about how the battlefield plays. So on to the final thing that I'm going to talk about, and that's naval warfare. And I'm going to try and cover as much as possible here. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the attack boats. They look a hell of a lot more useful than the rib boats look like in Battlefield 3. The attack boats have both 30mm cannons and TOW launchers on them as well. Now, I'm not sure if those are interchangeable with other things that you can equip your attack boats with, but what we've seen in the gameplay, those things are definitely confirmed. So you're going to be able to use a TOW launcher on other attack boats, helicopters, tanks at the side of the shore. So this looks like a great addition for naval warfare. One other cool little feature of these attack boats is they feature 2 jet skis attached to the back, which means if your boat has been disabled, you can jump onto those jet skis and make a quick getaway. This means you're not going to be stuck in the middle of the ocean or in the middle of a lake just floating around. You're actually going to have a way of getting out of the way of the enemy team. I don't know if you can class this next bit as naval warfare, but I'm pretty excited for it. You're now going to be able to use your secondary weapon while you're in the water. If you think about the countless amount of times in Battlefield 3 where you've been taken out above ground, you've ejected from your helicopter, and you've ended up landing in the sea on Gulf of Oman, and you're simply sitting there, you cannot bring out a weapon. There's countless videos on YouTube of people just sitting staring at each other because they can't bring out their weapon to kill either one of them. Well, that's now been changed in Battlefield 4. You will be able to use your secondary weapons in the water. There are a couple of other things. You are able now to swim at different speeds through the water. There's a normal swim and there's a sprint swim. And there's also a dive function as well, which means you can dive and swim underneath the water so that you can stay undetected. So this Battlefield 4 live stream that's going on all the way through E3 is giving us a brilliant insight into what Battlefield 4 is going to be like, what DICE are still developing, what DICE have included, what's their thought processes for the game. And so far, it looks bloody brilliant. I think DICE needed to deliver with Battlefield 4, obviously with it being so close to Battlefield 3, but they're on the right track. They've got a great game in development, and I can't wait for the beta to come out. But anyway guys, you're now up to date with all the multiplayer information you're going to need to know about Battlefield 4. Make sure you stay subscribed to my channel for all the Battlefield 4 information you're ever going to need. But thanks for watching guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like, and comments are always appreciated. I do try and read as many as I can. But my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.